Let's take a look at probability distributions or potential probability distributions. Probability distributions give all of the possible events along with the occurrence or the probability of those events occurring. Now there's a couple important things we need to realize about probability distributions. The first of which is probabilities all must sum to 1 or 100%. Second is that all probabilities must be between the numbers 0 and 1. So let's take a look at what we have for potential probability distributions and what they might reveal. A simple survey was done of people in a neighborhood asking them what type of pet they had. They could choose from dogs, cats, or birds. Very simple survey. And a potential probability distribution was created. We'll take a look at these three potential distributions and try and determine if they're a probability distribution and what they tell us. So let's take a look at the first one. We have a probability of dogs 0.7, cats 0.2, and birds 0.4. If you were to add up all these probabilities, remember they should sum up to 1. Notice, however, that if you add these up, you get a solution of 1.1. or 110%. This can't happen. This is not a probability distribution because this does not sum to 1. So we'll look at our second probability distribution or potential probability distribution. Dogs, cats, birds, same three animals, negative 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5. Okay. Well, there's a couple problems here. The first one that comes right to mind is that probabilities cannot be negative. The chances of something occurring, the smallest it can be is 0. You can have a 0% chance of something occurring, but you cannot have a negative probability. So this is not a probability distribution because no negativities are allowed. Let's take a look at our third and final potential probability distribution. Dogs, cats, and birds. We notice there are no negatives, so that's a good start. And if we add these all up together, we do indeed get a sum of 1.0. This is good. This is a probability distribution. It meets both criteria. Meets both criteria. No negatives. Sums to 1, so we have a probability distribution. Now what does this tell us? The probability of owning a dog is the highest. It tells us most people own dogs. And the probability of having a bird is the lowest. So for this particular survey, the least amount of people own dogs, the least amount of people owned birds, most owned dogs, and cats were somewhere just above birds. So we can kind of use our probability to gauge the frequency of something occurring. The higher the probability, the more frequent the event.